Bonjour, madame et monsieur. Je m'appelle Beaux et je suis le Beaux Plastiques. Hello everyone, it's Beaux. Going to walk you through some ideas today in Max MSP regarding two ways of doing a graphic mixer. A lot of people that start off in Max, they'll make sounds, they'll make songs. They'll find it difficult to mix. The way Max works is not designed for music, and yet we do it anyway. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll make a very simple playback system for some audio. Going to make a buffer, give it a name. We'll call this one sound. Give it an arbitrary length and tell it how many channels. Then we're going to give it a replace message. This will allow us to load a waveform in. So we'll lock the patch, click replace, pick a song. For the sake of not getting sued into oblivion, we're going to use Beau's own music for this. Then we're going to make a key object which gets inputs from your keyboard. We're going to make it select 32, which is the code for the spacebar. We shall make a toggle. We'll make a select 0. This will be important. Send that to a message of 0. And then we'll create a groove object called sound with two outputs. The 0 from the select 0 will go into the playback leftmost inlet. This will tell it to start at 0 every time it replays. And then we're going to make a signal object which will also go into there. So when it receives a message of 1 from the toggle, it will play, and when it receives a message of 0, it will reset. Make ourselves an easy DAC. We will lock the patch, start the easy DAC, and there is sound. Lovely jubbly. So let's say we want to mix this sound, as many audio engineers are wont to do. There's many options, but Beaux finds that designing your own and building them from scratch and the ground up makes them much more interesting, gives you a better insight into how the process works. So we're going to start with a gain object. It's this little fader here. Now we can just put the sound into there, lock the patch, hit space, and as we bring that up we get sound. But that's only coming through one speaker. So let's connect the other side and connect that there. Now that's just coming through in mono because this is a mono object. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Option and drag another one over. So now we have a left and a right channel. But it's annoying trying to match these up, isn't it? So we're going to take the right output from this first slider, which is the slider value, drop it into the input of the second slider. Now it moves both of them. Obviously, if we click on that one, well, that messes things up. So what we're going to do is unlock the patch, click on the second slider, and we're going to click ignore click. Now we cannot change the second slider, but we can change the first, and it will change both. Another problem that you'll find is when you save your patch, close it down for the day, come back to it the next day, the faders will be bottomed out because they need to be told where to be. So we're going to make a message box. We're going to take the slider value and put it into the right inlet. Now this will capture the setting. It will not bang the setting, however. So we'll make a load bang because messages persist between sessions. So now we can set this and it will set our slider value to 75, And then when we save the patch, close it and open it again, the load bang will set this back to where we left it, meaning that the settings will be where we left them. And obviously, if we have more channels, let's just keep these all roughly together so that we know where we're doing. We will copy that along. And now we have 2 channels, so we could send the left channel to one channel, the left audio signal to one channel, the right audio signal to the other. Except we have been very silly here. There we go. And now this is a way of controlling the levels of 2 different sound sources. But let's say we're doing a mix, and the mix starts getting very loud, and we want an easy way to temper the master volume. So we'll Alt and drag again, and now we'll send both of the left inputs into the left here, and we'll send both of the right inputs into the right here. And now we have a master out. So we'll send this back here. The master out will be connected to our DAC. There's nothing playing because our master is bottomed out. But as we bring it up, we start getting sound. There are various other ways you can implement this, but the idea remains the same. We can create as many tracks as you need. You could create 128 channels and a master if that's particularly what you want. And if you're intending to use this in a performance aspect, then we will select the 3 left faders and we will add to presentation. Then when we go into presentation mode, all we have is those 3 faders, meaning that we can control the mix live as it happens. But let's say we don't want to go down that route. Maybe it's too much. Maybe there's too many things. What else can we do? There is a object in Max called the multi-slider. To begin with, it looks very similar to the gain. But if we come over here into the inspector, we can tell it to have 5 sliders. We can tell it to go between 0 and 1. And now we have 5 faders. Now this puts out a list. Important note, we need to turn on continuous data output. So this puts out a list. As we can see here, it puts each number on its own variable. So we're going to unpack that. We're using 5 floats, so we'll unpack 5 Fs. And now, if we add a bunch of float number boxes to each of our unpacks, we can see that as we move the faders around, it changes each of our values here. Then we can multiply the signal of this channel by that number, and if we're working in stereo, we can multiply both channels by that number, send these to our DAC, and now we have independent control over 5 channels, depending on how we need it. This can also obviously be used for effects parameters. You could set it up for panning if you wish. But the same problem remains with the other method. When we save and close the project and we come back to it later, all of these faders will have bottomed out. So we're going to put the output of the multi-slider into the rightmost input of a message. We're going to hook the message into the inlet there. And now we have our messages. And we put a load bang on it, meaning that every time you load the project, wherever your faders were last time will now be where you left them. There are many things that we can go forward with these concepts. We could add an EQ, where we have dials to control EQs like on a mixing desk. We could add some panning to it. We could add send effects. But for now, Beaux hopes that this has been useful to anybody unfamiliar with Macs, and hopes that it provides a good starting point for the rest of your journey.